It's Unstable Topics with Sarah and Maggie.
Please hold for an important message.
Hey, you've reached Sarah Adams. I can't get to my phone right now, so just leave me a quick message and I'll give you a call back as soon as I can. Thanks.
Sarah, it's Maggie, or should I say, one half of Unstable Topics podcast, which is now officially on the Geekscape network. I'm so excited to be joining this creative collective of podcasters and filmmakers and so many other wonderful comedic geek-y people. And I guess we're geek people. I guess we're officially geek people because we are now a part of the Geekscape network and could not be happier or prouder. Love you so much, Sarah. It's Maggie.
End of message.
Hey, welcome to Unstable Topics, a fast-paced, jam-packed, unhinged bestie podcast filled with facts, reacts, and made-up games in between.
We're your hosts, Sarah
and Maggie.
And we're excited for you to join our best friend hangout, where we surprise one another with things we find interesting or hilarious just to see how the other will react.
Our friendship might be totally stable, but you never know what your bestie might throw your way to knock you off your game.
So come shake things up, learn something new, and laugh along with us. This is Unstable Topics.
Hey, bestie.
Hey, bestie.
Something that's around the corner and is very unstable, as I'm sure you know, is Halloween, and in particular, Halloween costumes for children.
You know, there is a reason we're best friends, because the Hey Bestie I'm planning on doing for the next episode, which is on Halloween, was in fact costumes. 100% have it written down. It's just amazing. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, because around this season, it's impossible. If you are a caregiver to young children, it is impossible to be amongst the Halloween spirit and not be somewhat stressed about how unpredictable children's costumes will be.
100%.
Right?
Yes.
It's like they're gonna, it's like, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be an astronaut. I want to be an astronaut. Week of Halloween, I want to be something that's a very elaborate costume that they don't sell in stores, and I'm going to cry if I'm not that thing.
Yes, completely. And I ran into this a little bit last year, more so than this year. So last year, Walter started off, I want to be Pluto, as in the planet Pluto, which is really the dwarf planet Pluto. Okay. And great. I love this. Easy to do. And then it turned out I want to be a Ranger baseball player. And then it was like, it was something else. There's 2 other iterations. I'm like, no, we're circling back to Pluto. And so it's kind of like a mind game. And when their child is that young, you can get them back around. You can strategically maneuver the costumes. This year, Annie is going as a cow because she doesn't have an opinion yet of what she's going to be dressed up
Best
as.
age.
Best
the
age.
best age for Halloween.
I do know she loves cows so much. So I'm like, she will love to be a cow. And sure enough, when her costume came in, she flipped out. She wanted to put it on. I'm like, see, right, 100%. And I told Walter, I'm like, hey, Annie's going to be a cow. And his initial reaction was, I should go as Milk. And I'm like, that's sweet because it's like a tandem, you know, like a cow and a milk. Looked up milk costumes. I 100% would know my child would not want to wear a milk costume.
Carton.
A carton. And then I looked up like a glass of milk, which you could make. And I'm like, he's not going to want to wear this.
Too bulky.
Again, I had to go through mom tactics and get him to another solution. A big word Walter's been using these days is calling things an eyeball. I don't know why. Late one night, I found an eyeball costume, which is very similar to how I constructed his Pluto costume. It's basically just a sandwich board of a circle object. So
whammo bammo eyeball. Yeah. Is he invested in it?
Yeah. So I showed him the costume. Like, hey, I was looking up milk costumes and then I found this one. And he loved it, and it glows in the dark, and I bought it.
Oh, well, that's fabulous. I like that.
at the date of this recording in 2023, we're still a week, 10 days out. Like, we still have time.
Yeah, there's the other shoe could drop on this eyeball costume.
100%.
You know, it could completely change. I started making Robbie's costume because he said he wanted to be a Bigfoot. Now he says he wants to be Robbie, which I'm like, that is terrifying. A toddler at Halloween is a terrifying costume. But I had to start making the Bigfoot costume because they don't sell Bigfoot costumes in size 2 toddler.
No.
So just fingers crossed that he will wear this at some point, you know?
Yeah, he will. But the good news is his backup costume, which is just himself, is easy.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, this is good. If the backup is yourself, then I'm fine. If the backup was like, I want to be I don't know, submarine, then I'd have a little bit of like, I can't make both those costumes.
I've realized with costumes, and where I was going to go with my unstableness of it is as adults too, as costumes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you reach an age, and you know me, I love a theme. I love a theme party. I love a theme outfit. I'm here for it. But for some reason, for Halloween, I'm like, I don't want to dress up. I don't want to dress up.
I know. And I always have a good idea, and I never remember it around Halloween. What are you going to do this year?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm not dressing up.
What are you going to do?
I'm being a mom.
At all?
No.
You're not going to like put a face paint on or
No.
a hat?
No. I'll wear clothes that is comfortable to go trick or treat in, and I'll be excited. I love Halloween for my children. I think it's so much fun. Me as an adult, I'm like, I don't feel the need to dress up. Like, it's never been something I've needed or wanted to do.
But you're not even going to like put on a funny hat.
No. Well, because if I put on a hat, then I have to put on you can't just do one thing, right? If you're going to do it, you're going to do it right. Right. And
okay. I
have a costume prep box, as you know, in my closet.
I do.
So it is possible. But I'm like, it's one more thing to add to my brain. And I am more than okay of saying, no, I'm not going to do it. Like, I do not feel any type of FOMO.
Okay. That's good.
If I was going to a Halloween party, I would.
That would be different.
That's different.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Duh.
Well, speaking of adding things to your brains and speaking of brains, I have a fact for you. Are you ready for this fact?
I am ready.
Okay. This fact is sent in from fellow bestie, Christina Golden.
Ooh.
She sent me this fact on a group message that we're on, and she said, this is very unstable. And I said, I will share this fact.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready for this fact.
Peaking in the 16th and 17th centuries, Europeans routinely engaged in various forms of cannibalism. From grinding up skulls to digest and cure headaches, to taking tinctures of mummy remains to quell internal bleeding, it was believed that the remains contained true spirits of the deceased, and that the spirit could be helpful in curing a variety of common ailments.
No. Hard pass. I mean, that's disgusting. It's a great fact.
Oh, it's a great fact.
What
and it was during this time, the 16th, and it peaked in like the 17th century, although up until the 19th century, there were people selling skulls and blood and mummy parts to cure ailments.
Wow. It was the wild time for the medical profession. Can you imagine being told, like, hey, if you eat your cousin Tina's finger, your warts are going to go away?
Even like Leonardo da Vinci wrote about it. He was about like the spirit of the people coming into you makes it like you get even more strength. Like these dead bodies have the soul just waiting around to go into someone else's body so that they can give that body power.
This is too much for me to handle today. Like, this is
this is too much.
This is too much.
Too much.
Here's where I go. When I watch shows, and I'm a big fan of like our world but altered type of storylines, right? Apocalyptic, science fiction type of things. And immediately my mind went to The Walking Dead. And there is an episode early on, because I stopped watching after Glenn died. Spoiler.
Spoiler comes after the spoiler.
Yeah, gotcha. This is 10 years ago. And it's a comic book. So really, it's whatever. There's like a group of people, and the whole season is kind of revolves around this group of people who are cannibals. And I just couldn't deal with it because it gets you on such a level of wrongness, you know? And now
Yeah.
realizing that people, humans, hundreds of years ago, because it's the 17th century, that's what, 300 years ago?
Not long enough.
Not long. Exactly. That's the point. Not long enough
Mhm.
for it to be not disturbing, right? And
Right,
everyone knows about the
absolutely.
Dahmer party and stuff like that. I have taken a turn mentally, Maggie.
Yeah, let me get us back on track. Are you ready to react?
I am so ready to react.
Okay, Sarah, we know that cannibalism peaked in the 16th and 17th centuries in Europe. What is your top reason for not being a cannibal?
See, I knew this type of reaction was coming my way. Like, I knew I was going to try to get through it. I was like, Maggie's going to ask me something if I was a cannibal and make me put this more into
I'm saying
reality.
why not? Why not? Why are you not a
Why am I not
cannibal?
eating people?
What's your number one reason? And then I'll share what the group text because this is actually truly unstable. What's your number
My
one
number
reason?
one reason for not eating people is
Yes.
that's my number one reason for not eating people is because they're people. I'm not going to eat a person.
I agree. That was also mine. But let me share the first reaction from my fellow group text in this group text with Christina, who sent this. The first reaction was, yes, I would not want to catch a disease. And the second was, or do something illegal.
Wow. Okay.
And I was
Very
like, or eat
a person.
person.
Look,
I just wanted to make sure we were aligned.
we are
This whole-
aligned. There's no other reasons not to be a cannibal. Like, those are sub reasons. Like, I can't believe we're having a conversation about cannibalism and why we're not going to eat people.
It's important to know these things
It
about
is.
the
It
friend,
is.
your friends. It's
It is.
important to know your why, you know?
And I do want
Now I feel safer. I feel safer around you, honestly.
Look, here's another trick. Not a trick, another interesting note. Christina, who told you this fact, is probably one of the most kind, sweetest, honest, lovable people you will ever meet in your life. And now,
No, she did not say the sickness. That was our our sociologist friends, our
oh,
anthropologist friends.
okay, well then, I thank goodness, because I was about to say I don't know who she is.
No, I think she didn't say her top reason for not eating people, but I bet it's the people part. Step right up. It's time to play Friend, Enemy, Block.
Yes!
Who of these three celebrities provided will Sarah or Maggie pick to be their friend, to be their enemy, and to block from all contact for the rest of their lives? Let's find out on Friend, Enemy, Block!
For this friend enemy block, we're going to keep it in the Halloween genre because I feel like as we go into trick or treating, it's very important to understand out of Halloween candy, which one would you friend, which one would be your enemy, and which one would you block? Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, Twizzlers, or M&Ms?
This is actually pretty easy for me, and I think we're probably aligned. Maybe. You know what? There's a thing that's not going to be aligned here. I can already predict it. But I think we both know that Reese's are our friend.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously. They're delicious. They're peanut butter, they're chocolatey, they're orange already. Perfect friend for Halloween candy. My enemy is going to be M&Ms because I think that's actually been my favorite candy since I was a little kid. I always loved M&Ms. Classic, small, bite-sized, melt in your mouth, not in your hand. But sometimes they do melt in your hand. And that kind of lying behavior feels like untrustworthy to me. So they're a liar. They're an enemy. My block is Twizzlers. Not a huge fan. And this is where I know that we are going to diverge because I know that you do love Twizzlers. For me, it's kind of like I'm eating rope, and that's not something that I want to do on Halloween.
You know, I don't necessarily disagree with your answers. I don't. It was a hard one. And I thought about putting candy corn in here as an obvious block, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because only when you're desperate do you eat candy corn. Twizzlers, on the other hand, so on the regular, I'm not going to grab Twizzlers. Like if I'm hankering for some candy, it's not going to be a Twizzlers grab. However, the Halloween Twizzlers that you get twinkle tweeting,
Twinkle tweeting. The Twizzlers you get twinkle tweeting. It's so
Tweeting.
delicious.
that you get trick or treating tastes different than regular Twizzlers. And I don't know if it's
Huh.
because they're in those little packages, or if they're mixed in with all the other candy. But there's something about a Twizzlers on Halloween, specifically the bite-sized one, that just gives off this smell, this aura of Halloween. And you're like, this feels right. But I don't disagree with blocking it either because, I think the king of candy is a Reese's peanut butter cup.
For sure the king of candy for sure.
And M&M's, like you said, that's my go-to right now. It's my go-to candy. It goes great with popcorn. Like you eat, it's great. It's fantastic. It's so versatile. Sometimes too versatile. Like who are you going to get,
Yes, absolutely.
So yeah, I think by process of elimination, your Twizzlers have to be the one you block forever. But gosh, man, did you ever go to the movies and create a Twizzler straw?
No, I really don't like Twizzlers. That was cute. Thanks to all our friends and enemies for playing along. Sarah, are you ready for your fact?
Yes, I am.
Although most spiders prefer to work alone, some form colonies to build large communal webs, sharing their catches with one another.
I bet all those spiders are women because they're like, let's work in a group together. Let's help one another out. Let's build a common bond so that we can all thrive and eventually take over the world. The reasons why spiders have not done that yet is because there are men spiders out there that blow the whole thing up. And they're just like, well, I guess we'll only be able to be this big. Literally,
Yes, I agree. Like Charlotte's Web is probably the only woman spider who is independently contracting, but she's doing it kind of like a Mother Teresa way. Like, she's trying to communicate a message with the world. She's doing it like for altruistic, versus these spiders in a community.
I have a confession.
What?
I've never read Charlotte's Web. I've never watched the movie either.
Huh.
Yeah, never.
What's the reasoning behind that?
I've never been interested in it. Like, I think
you didn't read it in school or anything?
Not that I recall. No.
Do you know the premise? Do you know the premise of it?
Someone dies, and it's about animals.
It's been so long. I know Charlotte weaves messages in her web.
Okay.
That's like the big thing.
Right. Who dies, though?
I don't even remember who dies. The pig? Does the pig die?
Probably.
You know what I get mixed up? I get Charlotte's Web mixed up with Babe, Pig in the City.
Oh, Pig in the City, specifically that one.
Oh, no. The Babe, but then Pig in the City is more fun to say. Funner to say.
Who dies in Charlotte's Web? Charlotte.
Probably Charlotte.
Charlotte dies.
Yeah.
Because
she's a spider.
Yeah,
she's a spider and she's working all by herself. If she had a community of other spiders helping her,
okay,
here's
the Wikipedia very scientific deep dive. Even though Wilbur is able to escape his death, Charlotte, the spider who takes care of Wilbur, is not able to escape her own. Okay,
classic.
It doesn't age well to me. Doesn't age well.
Well, Sarah, now that you have your hot takes on one of the most beloved children's stories.
Why is that beloved? It's like Old Yeller or Bambi. There is a death. And I'm like, why? Why do we have to beloved these things that are so tragic? Our world is tragedy.
Okay. Well, I agree. But I got a fun react. Are you ready to react?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Okay, so spiders sometimes work in communal webs and they share their catches with one another. If you could catch anything in a web trap, what would you want to catch?
Money. Like lots and lots of money. Like what else would there be? Like why would you want to catch anything else? I mean, I want to catch a cat. I want to catch money. Like I want there to be a truck on the highway full of cash that breaks down and like the back opens up and there's this huge gust of wind that blows all this money into this large, ginormous spider web that's on my property, right? So it's like ownership. It can't just be like in the woods.
No, it's yours.
It's
And it's like
mine.
and there's a law in place that says if you catch a truck full of money in
Yes.
your web, you don't have to return it. It's yours. You've caught it.
Possession is 9/10 of the law, but you know what? Because the web was built by lots of lady spiders, I would distribute that money amongst
That's
my
very
lady
kind.
spiders. Yeah.
Even though it's on your property
So I get to choose what to do with it.
and you would choose to share it.
I would choose to share it. It's because I didn't earn it. It just happened to me, you know? What do you want to catch in your web?
Oh, obviously, bokus of money. A web full of money. I mean, it's true. Like, what else? A fly?
No, thank you.
No. No, thank you. A brand new car? No, because then you
No,
gotta get a
I
car
got
out
a
of a
car that
web.
worked.
Like,
Yeah, like
no, yeah. The only thing that makes sense is like cold, hard cash.
exactly. Poor Charlotte died before her time, you know?
That's it for this episode. Wasn't that fun?
Now it's time for you to subscribe and follow.
And share this episode with a friend.
Ooh, maybe even your bestie.
Find us everywhere online at Unstable Topics, and for more antics, visit us at the Monthly Junk.
Bye.
Bye. Peace. Peace. Peace.